Imagine waking up one morning and being told you murdered someone last night. And yet, you remember nothing. No rage, no fight, no sound, just nothing. It sounds impossible, right? But in 1987, this exact nightmare became real for a 23-year-old man named Kenneth Parks from Toronto, Canada. Kenneth was an ordinary young man. He had a wife, a baby daughter, and a steady job. But behind that calm appearance, his life was crumbling. He was struggling with severe financial problems, debts piling up, job pressure increasing, and endless nights without sleep. His body was awake, his mind slowly breaking. Doctors later confirmed that Kenneth had developed a condition called insomnia with parasomnia, a sleep disorder that can cause a person to perform complex actions while being completely unconscious. And on one night in May 1987, that condition turned deadly. It was a calm Saturday night. Kenneth watched TV with his wife, kissed her goodnight, and went to bed. But around 4:30 a.m., something went terribly wrong. His body woke up, but his mind did not. Without opening his eyes fully, he walked out of his house, picked up his car keys, got into his blue car, and started driving. He drove through the empty roads of Toronto, 23 kilometers straight, without hitting a single thing, without ever waking up. It was like his brain was running on autopilot, a silent machine with no conscience behind the wheel. And that's where he arrived, at his in-laws' home. The details of what happened next are pieced together only through forensic evidence. Kenneth entered the house quietly, his mother-in-law and father-in-law still asleep. He walked into their bedroom. What followed was chaos, violent, unexplainable chaos. Kenneth attacked his mother-in-law, fatally injuring her. He also attacked his father-in-law, who barely survived. The shocking part? He had no memory of any of this. After the attack, Kenneth got back in his car, his hands and clothes covered in blood. He drove straight to the police station, walked inside, and said in a calm, confused voice, "I think I've killed some people. My hands." When the police arrested him, they were sure he was lying. How could someone drive, walk, attack, and talk while being asleep? But something didn't make sense. There was no motive, no signs of planning, no attempt to run away, no anger, no fear, just confusion. The police noticed his heart rate and body temperature were abnormally low, consistent with someone in a sleep state. That's when the case took a shocking turn. Kenneth was sent for neurological testing. Doctors monitored his brain activity in a sleep lab, and the results stunned everyone. His brain displayed delta waves, patterns seen only in deep sleep. He was capable of complex movement without conscious thought. Experts called it non-REM parasomnia, a condition where the brain partially wakes up, but the conscious mind remains asleep. Forensic psychiatrists confirmed his history of sleepwalking, dating back to his teenage years. Friends and family testified they'd seen him do strange things in his sleep before. The science was clear. Kenneth was asleep when he killed, The trial became one of the most famous in Canadian history. The question wasn't, did he kill? Everyone agreed he did. The real question was he conscious when he did it? The prosecution argued that no one could drive 23 kilometers and commit such violent acts without some awareness. But the defense presented medical evidence, EEG scans, sleep studies, expert witnesses. And after months of debate, the jury reached a historic decision. Kenneth Parks was found not guilty because he was not conscious during the act. It was ruled a case of non-insane automatism, a legal term meaning unconscious actions without intent. Kenneth walked free. The verdict shocked the world. Many asked, how can a man walk free after taking a life simply because he was asleep? But others argued, how can you punish someone who wasn't aware of their actions? The case changed how courts viewed sleep disorders forever. It forced the world to ask an uncomfortable question. If a person's mind can betray them in their sleep, how safe are any of us? Years after the trial, Kenneth Parks lived a quiet, private life. He never returned to the spotlight, avoiding interviews and public attention. The Parks case became a cornerstone in legal and medical studies. Law schools analyzed it to understand non-insane automatism. Sleep researchers cited it as one of the most extreme examples of parasomnia leading to violent behavior. Psychologists used it to explore the fragile boundary between consciousness and action. Today, the story of Kenneth Parks is taught not as a sensational crime, but as a warning. Our bodies can act independently of our minds, and sometimes those actions can have catastrophic consequences. The Parks case also inspired stricter protocols for families and doctors to monitor severe sleep disorders, highlighting a cold, undeniable fact. Sleepwalking is not always harmless. We all trust our minds to keep us safe, to wake us when danger comes, to stop us when we cross the line. But what if one night your mind doesn't wake up and your body keeps moving? That's the story of Kenneth Parks, the man who killed in his sleep. Not every nightmare happens when you're dreaming. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing videos.